Hi there and welcome to episode 11 with Real Talk Fitness with ANPT. I'm your host, Ashleigh Cumins, owner of Ashleigh Newburn's Personal Training, better known as ANPT. If you're ready to cut through the noise and get real about what it takes to achieve your goals, whether it's building strength, improving body composition, or simply feeling better in your own skin, this podcast is for you. So grab a coffee, lace up those shoes, and let's dive in to episode 11. Embracing the messy middle. You might be thinking, what is the messy middle? The messy middle refers to the challenging phase in our journey, where motivation drops, obstacles arises. So these could be things in personal life, even work life, and progress starts to feel slow. It's the stage between the initial excitement of setting a new goal or starting something new and that satisfaction of actually achieving it. The messy middle refers to the plateaus, the setbacks, the unexpected challenges, the self-doubt, the temptation to quit. Examples of the messy middle within a fitness journey is starting, initially losing weight, but then hitting a plateau. Examples in career growth, working really hard, but feeling really stuck in your position just before the breakthrough. I want to discuss with you today a few things that I believe get us stuck in this messy middle rather than embracing it. Focus on progress, not perfection. The definition of perfectionism is unrealistic expectations that hinder your growth and progress. Why does this matter? You might be thinking, what has this got to do with anything? But growth happens during the challenging moments, during that messy middle. We often find within this time, I have found over the 15 years with my clients, is paralysis by analysis. The overthinking prevents us to take action. The procrastination, the fear of not being perfect, leads to not even starting. The burnout, I've seen this more often than not. Overworking to achieve impossible standards. Then quitting, failure to meet your high expectations, and then resulting in giving up completely. How does striving for perfection become counterproductive? Perfectionism isn't about achieving excellence. It's about the fear of not being good enough. Then this perfectionism leads to paralysis by analysis. Many people delay starting a new fitness journey because they feel unprepared or fear of not being able to meet their standards. An example of this, someone wanting to start a fitness routine but spend weeks researching the perfect program instead of just getting out, going for a walk. Just starting. Procrastination is another one that leads from perfectionism because the thought of falling short feels sickening. Then you delay even starting. Burnout. Perfectionists often overcommit and overwork themselves, trying to control everything. And then we lead to quitting. All because we're not embracing this messy middle. It is part of our journey. Whether it's our journey in life, whether it's our journey in training, whether it's your journey in your career, there is often this messy middle that nobody talks about. On social media, it is so prominent. They show you the beginning and the end. Nobody talks about this middle, which from just myself, the middle takes up a good 80%. That's a lot. The other example I want to use is referring to nutrition. How many of you out there have had one bad day, and because you've had one bad day off your food, you believe you failed? Yep, I can count on both hands how many people I have talked through that one bad day doesn't equal a bad week. This leads me to slightly touch on the science behind burnout. Studies have shown that perfectionists experience higher levels of chronic stress because they feel the constant need to prove their worth. This can lead to anxiety, depression, physical health issues, headaches, sleep problems, all things that nobody talks about. The pressure of unrealistic expectations is linked to mental health struggles. It's also linked to the burnout cycle. Overcommitting, burnout, your recovery from that burnout, and then you repeat that cycle. Let's stop it together. Stop this trying to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. Instead of just starting and making progress, people get stuck in this loop of evaluating, planning, and then second guessing. A few things is the fear of making the wrong choice, overwhelmed by options or decisions, information overload. In the fitness industry, this is so common. There is so much information out there. I like to keep things real simple, especially when I'm having a chat with a client and they're starting to overthink everything. Keep it simple, stupid. Nobody ever beat the simple actions. Move your body. Eat healthy food. There is no such thing as good and bad food. Keep it simple. Perfectionism. We've touched on that a few times. And this plays a massive role in not enjoying that messy middle. The self-doubt, a lack of confidence in your ability, so you hesitate to even start. All these things waste your time and energy instead of taking small, productive steps to achieving results. It also creates decision fatigue. Constantly analysing all your decisions drains you mentally. If you just keep it simple and effective during this messy middle, you're never going to be perfect. You will inch your way closer to your goals. A few mindset shifts to help navigate through this messy middle. Adopt a good enough mindset. Accept that imperfection is normal. Taking action is better than no action. Track your progress, not perfection. Set a deadline to stop planning and start doing. After an hour of researching meal prep ideas, spend the next hour preparing just a simple meal. I guess where I'm going with this is stop overthinking the process. There is always going to be a messy middle, no matter what aspect of life we're talking about, where things feel that they're not moving. You're not getting that dopamine fix that you're chasing. And that is normal. Embrace it. Embrace that messy middle. Focus on progress, not perfection. Forgive yourself if you don't get it right. Avoid that all or nothing mindset during this messy middle. A single mistake doesn't mean that you failed, no matter what aspect of life we're talking about. Whether it is with your food, whether it's with your training, whether it's with your career, your relationship. One little mistake doesn't mean that you failed. Let go of being perfect. Understand that setbacks are a part of the process. Progress always takes time, no matter, again, what aspect we're talking about in life. Understand that success doesn't happen overnight. Plan for your setbacks. Example, if you're learning a new skill, allocate time to practice and recognizing that it will not happen instantly. It will happen over time. The messy middle is unavoidable. It's where the real growth happens. Shifting that mindset, setting realistic goals, and using practical strategies can help you stay consistent during this time. A few things personally I've found helped is journaling, focusing on the positives, What's one thing I did well today? What progress have I made this week? What can I improve on tomorrow? What did I learn from today's struggles? Journaling helps reframe experiences and track progress, even when it feels like you're getting nowhere. You're always learning. Celebrate your small wins and always return to your why when the journey starts to feel overwhelming. Your why is the reason you started. When we get really into this messy middle part of our journey, we forget our why. Revisit that. Remember that feeling when you first started, why you started. Whether it's eating better, whether it's changing your body composition, whether it's looking at long-term training routine. Remember why you started, especially when the journey starts feeling overwhelming. And that's a wrap for today's episode of Real Talk Fitness with ANPT, embracing the messy middle. If there is one thing I would want you to take away, it is this: progress is greater than perfection, and the messy middle is where real growth happens. Progress isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up, doing your best, and trusting that the journey will lead you to where you're meant to be. Keep going. If you've enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe and share it with someone who could use a little extra motivation. For more tips, workouts, and inspiration, follow me over at Ashleigh Newburn's personal training. Thank you so much for tuning in to Real Talk Fitness with ANPT. Keep going. You're doing better than you think.